They're my favorite to win it all. Yes, I'm saying it today, July the 6th, 2022. A healthy Clippers team is the team that is going to be my favorite to win it all.
Another level on it, Alan, and I'll say it. If they are able to remain healthy, I would give the Clippers a slight edge as the favorites in the Western Conference. I would.
Favorites.
The favorite. I mean,
and then they have great players: Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, the guys that they're filling in around them with. You go pull a trade off and get Robert Covington, and Norman Powell, and you already have Marcus Morris there and Reggie Jackson. They're a real threat.
So the Los Angeles Clippers roster is pretty set going to next season, and you already got people calling this team the deepest roster in the NBA. If you look at the totality of their depth, they're stacked in almost every position, from elite two-way wings to superior three-point shooting, great perimeter defenders, and also addressing the need of a playmaker by signing John Wall this offseason, putting his team as one of the favorites of winning the championship next year. Since Kawhi have joined the Los Angeles Clippers and Paul George, the quest of bringing a franchise's first ever championship have yet to be fulfilled. But I'm going to tell you why the Los Angeles Clippers might be the most dangerous contending team in the NBA next season. First, let's speak on the Clippers the same depth. I think today in the NBA is trending towards a wing league, and when you look at what offers the league is best in Los Angeles Clippers, who have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, two of NBA's best two-way players in the league, who not only they can get you a bucket whenever they want to, but they also can stop you from scoring on the defensive end. They have multiple 3D guys, Robert Covington, who can hit the three, space the floor, block shots. He's a great upside defender under the basket. Nicholas Batum, who can do almost everything on the court, who provides his veteran presence. He can space the floor, he can rebound, he can play make, he can block shots, and he can hit the three. You have Norman Powell coming off the bench, averaging 20 on efficient splits. He's a three-level scorer. He brings the tenacity on defense with his off-ball presence. You got Marcus Morris, who can space the floor, and when he's hot, he can beat you from everywhere on the court. And speaking about the young, talented wing players that the Clippers also have, you have a Terrence Mann, who's a decent defender, who's strong, and he's aggressive and can cut to the basket and finish around the rim. You have Merrill Coffey, who's a two-way player who compete on the defensive end and also get his own bucket. The Clippers have a lot of great wings that they can space the floor and get their own bucket. Also, they can defend on a high level. Now, people is worried about the John Wall fit, and I think it's perfect for what the team, especially what the Clippers need, which is an actual playmaker who can take the pressure off of PG and Kawhi, get downhill, make the skip pass to the corner, feed Kawhi and PG the ball at times, and occasionally John Wall can play off ball, especially when he's on the floor with Kawhi and PG. Clippers are not asking Wall to be the same John Wall for Washington. We're asking him to play his role, give you a consistent 8 assists, and finish with 18 points per game, and hold his own on the defensive side of the ball, which I think will be great for what the Los Angeles Clippers need. Clippers have one of the most efficient shooters in Luke Kennard, who led the lead in three-point shooting last year in terms of percentages. Reggie Jackson, who has great handles, who's a two-guard, who can take you off the dribble, finish around the rim, who was last year in top 5 in total points, clutch points scored. This depth is unbelievable. It's interesting to see how Tyronn Lue manage these guys' minutes. Now, granted, the Los Angeles Clippers have to be 100% healthy if they want to accomplish their goals at winning this franchise's first ever championship. Clippers had a lot of unfortunate circumstances that happened to their franchise in recent years, blowing the 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets in the 2020 bubble, and then in the 2021 playoffs, even though they made it to their first ever Western Conference Finals, their best player, Kawhi Leonard, tore his ACL in the second round in Game 4 against the Jazz, and eventually that led to the Suns beating the Clippers in 6 games. Following that, the Clippers would miss the 2022 playoffs after Paul George missed nearly half of the season, and Kawhi Leonard not even playing a game at all this season. Even though they was missing their best and second best player that season, the Clippers remained a competitive team. They were top 10 in defensive rating, missing the 2 best defenders in Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. They also was top 2 in three-point shooting. They also was top 5 in clutch offense this season, while missing their best closers in Kawhi and Paul George. You get them back, that significantly makes your team better. On paper, this team is stacked, but championships not won on paper, so they got to go out and prove the doubters wrong. This is by far the best Clipper rosters in franchise history. Championship or bust for Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. They must take it home. What's so exciting about this year Clipper team is obviously them getting healthy by bringing their stars back, but also their deadly small ball lineup, which I think that can give teams in the league problems. Nick Batum at the 4, Robert Covington at the 5, PG at the 2, Kawhi at the 3, Norman Powell at the 1 will be their small ball lineup when closing out games. They can switch 1 through 5. They can catch and shoot. They can take you off the dribble. They can finish around the rim. They can block shot, and they can play elite sound defense. You got Kawhi and PG who can shot create and get their own bucket, but also slow down a game. Defensively, this lineup is a powerhouse. You also have a great coach in Tyronn Lue, who arguably the best coach in the league because the way he can game plan, make adjustments on the fly, and hold his players accountable. Clippers trying to build a championship culture and trying to win the franchise's first ever NBA champion, going into their new arena, which opened in 2024, the Intuit Dome. So, do you agree that the Clippers are the most dangerous contending team next year? Let me know in the comment section, man. It's your boy, Mookie Jones. I'm out. Gang!